What's up, everybody? Disco Demonic. So, lots been going on lately, so I haven't made a video in a long time, but things are crazy, man. So, recently, I've been pretty sick because of my liver issues. I think it kind of made me just like a regular bug, kind of enhanced it. So, like, for the past 5 days, I've been just really, like, out of it with fever and stuff like that. I got my COVID test. I haven't gotten the results yet back, but whatever happens is whatever happens. I don't think I'm gonna come out positive, but because I'm already getting over it. But if I do, I'm still gonna continue quarantining. And within this quarantine, now that I'm able to think straighter, what I did is I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the book that I wanted to be working on. It's on demonic healing, working with the demonic entities for healing, because that's basically been my journey. I downloaded Scrivener. The only reason I downloaded Scrivener, I think you could probably write it in Docs or some shit like that, or Word. I think Scrivener is cheaper than Word. I'm not really sure how expensive Word is. And I mean Microsoft Word when I say Word. But I was reading, let me see, Tim Ferriss, I think that's his name. He has a couple 4-hour work week and shit like that. I really like his books. He spoke highly of Scrivener. I bought it a long time ago. I lost all that shit, so I just bought it again. It's like 40 bucks, 40 something bucks. So I'm gonna start working on the book. So that's one thing I'm gonna start working on now. Yeah. Well, today's video is gonna be about. With all of that being said, today's video is about, like, I've had a lot of things come up with. I don't know, a lot of people don't really talk about this. I know there are a couple people who do, but parasitic entities seem to come up a lot whenever you're doing your work with any kind of psychic work. Defending against them is one thing, but actually getting rid of them if they come through is another. So I've actually developed a technique that I use that I wanted to share with you today. And depending upon your, like, psychic aptitude or whatever, like your envisioning process or whatever that is, hopefully you can use this process to eliminate them or get them out of you, and then, like, create a shield afterwards to keep them out. Or another thing that I do, I have this entity that came to me at one point that kind of, like, works with me in certain kind of ways. When I was working with the Black Sun, this entity just came to me. It seemed androgynous, but I say he because I'm a he. I guess that's how, whatever. So what I do is I actually ask this entity kind of to encircle me, kind of like in a just orbiting kind of way. And if any, with the shielding, and if any parasitic entities try to come in, he will destroy them for me. So that's one thing that I do. So if you have an egregore or anything like that that you want to create or use for that, you can do that. If you'd like to create extra protection for yourself as well as a shield, there are many different shielding techniques. The one that I use is in a book by Enoch Petrocelli. So I don't want to tell you how to do it because that's his book, and I'm not just going to tell you, you know, like, if you want to get it, I wouldn't want anybody telling people how to do everything in my book after, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not going to do that to anybody else. So, but he has a pretty good technique in there to create a shielding. Let me see, the soul retrieval, I think is the name of the book. So, anyways, one of the techniques that I do is I do, like, a scanning of myself in order to find parasitic entities if they have come through, or if I have neglected shielding, or if before I put the entity that came to me, before I actually incorporated him. I came to this realization after I had like parasitic entities all the time just coming around. I'm doing this because they really would stick to my this part of my body more, my astral. So that's one of the issues I was having. I'd be getting more powerful, then all of a sudden my power would just, like, kind of drain, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, I'm not doing shielding enough. I was like, I have to do this shit every day. You know, there's all kinds of shit, like banishing and everything. So this is not necessarily an alternative, but another way of doing, protecting yourself. So what I did was I sat down in a meditative position. You can either sit down or lay down. I recommend sitting down because if you're laying down, you might fall asleep. I would fall asleep. Or if you're comfortable with that, that's cool. I sat down, half lotus, and what I did was I created a scan. So, and I started doing this every morning just to be sure I cleared everything out, and then created the shield, and then did it again. I did this for a few days. The first day I got a few entities, and then like the next few days after that, it was less and less. I think it was like 2 days after that. I'd found like random ones here and there, parasites, because parasites can hide underneath other parasites. So like if you come to like this part of your body, you get rid of a parasite there, you think you're done. There's actually one that was kind of hiding there. So you want to do it like a few times, right? So anyways, you get into your meditative position, and what I do is I envision like this scan, like in this. Let me see. There's a few movies that I've seen where they actually do like they're scanning a room. The aliens are scanning a room looking for humans and shit, almost like a laser kind of scan and shit like that. It's kind of like that. But what I'll do is I'll start at the top of my head, and almost like this beam, this flat plate of light, or just like realization, or me seeing, light being my consciousness, looking for something. And I'll just go down, and as I'm going down, when I hit a certain spot, I will get this vision of something. And I would take a look at it, and depending on what that was, if it was like, sometimes you get little psychic hits on something else, but sometimes you get like a distinct parasite. So when I saw the parasite, I would actually remove it and then destroy it, and then continue with the scan. And like I said, the first day I got a few of them. The next day, I think it was a couple. I don't remember the exact number, man, but it was like took me like 3 days to get rid of all of them. And after that, I started feeling a lot better. Everything was flowing a lot better. So what happens is when you're gonna go down, after you find one, in whatever area you find one, you're gonna get a pretty quick vision of it. And then when you see it, and I see them in their energetic form, I don't see them clearly as like just you're looking at me right now. It's like weird lines and shit that I see, different colors kind of thing. And so what I do is I actually like paralyze them in my mind, and then when I remove them slowly, because whenever I was a kid, I had this. I was always told that if you get a tick in your hand or somewhere on your body, you're supposed to remove the tick, like you burn it so the legs don't like stick inside of you or some shit. So in order to avoid that, because some of them get their little like tentacles up in you or whatever, so you kind of paralyze them, and then you can remove them slowly. And that's what I do, so they don't break off inside of me. They can't reattach later, or nothing can grow from that, or that piece can like affect me in some other kind of way, right? So that's what I do, and after that I remove them like slowly, bring them out, and have them in front of me. Envision like a sword in my hand, and I basically just chop them the fuck up. Chop them the fuck up, and then like send them off into the void. And then I actually let the void envelop them. So like I give the void, like you can create anything in your mind's eye or whatever, right? So it's almost like a ritual. And then like you just have the void, envision the void like grabbing them, and then like pulling them away from you, and then they're gone. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I get rid of them. That's a technique that you can use. There's a lot parasitic entities, man. Before, when I first started, I knew nothing about them, and it's been like a pretty big thing. Like I've had people that I've worked on before that have like no sensitivity. It's normally something like that's going to be a parasitic entity, just draining, Or if you like do a ritual, the first time it's like bam, badass feeling, and then after that, every time you do it, you feel nothing, or whatever, like probably a parasite. There's like other signs, or if you get like an energy boost from, if you get a ritual done and you never felt anything, it's possibly a parasite soaking up that energy, or the spirits don't want to imbue you with that energy because they know the parasite will fucking just soak it up, So that's something like a technique that hopefully a lot of you can use, or some of you can use, and to further your practice, man. So hopefully that helps. If you like this video, share with your friends. If you hate it, share with your enemies. Have a good day.